scratching. I did a video just like this recently, and a lot of people liked it, so I wanted to do it again. I picked out a lighthearted topic. I am going to talk about my favorite TV shows, as well as TV shows that I am currently watching. I don't actually watch TV that often, but when I do, these are what I like to watch. So the very first one is The Golden Girls. I love The Golden Girls. I think that show is so funny. I remember it was airing as new episodes when I was a child, but I didn't understand the jokes, so I didn't care for the show. It just would be on the TV. Options were limited back then, so if my grandmother and my mother were watching it, I would just kind of be stuck watching it, but I never liked it. Then when it came on as reruns, when I was older, and I understood the jokes, I realized how funny that show is. And I've seen it so many times now, I probably have the series memorized. I could probably tell you every single episode. My favorite character is Dorothy, followed by Sophia, but I really love them all. They're all great in their own way. Mostly what I will watch are reruns of comedy sitcoms. My next favorite is the show Mom. If you've ever seen that show, then you know the character Bonnie. Oh my gosh, how funny. I don't know if maybe some people would consider the show to be a little too raunchy for their liking. I don't think it's that bad, I just think it's funny. The show is really based on addiction and recovery, but the way they go about it, I enjoy it. So it's a serious topic, but it's in a very funny, lighthearted way. I also I think this show is from the 90s, The King of Queens. I tease my husband all the time that we are just like them. But we're not actually, just sometimes. But I think that show is funny. I also like Mike and Molly and 2.5 Men. I'm trying to think if there's any others that when I happen to catch them on TV, I'll watch them, but as far as sitcoms go, that's all I can think of at the moment. I know a lot of people don't even have cable anymore, so they don't just flip on a TV and see what's on. They go right to whatever streaming service they're using. But I have not yet invested in a smart TV, so I do have streaming services, but I don't have them accessible on my TV, so I still have cable. I really love to watch paranormal TV shows, not the kind like Ghost Hunters where you get a group of paranormal investigators and they go searching supposedly haunted areas. But I like the TV shows that are reenactments of people's paranormal experiences, like the show A Haunting, or These Woods Are Haunted, or My Haunted House. There's also one called Paranormal 911. A lot of these shows, they may not make new episodes anymore, but I still like to watch them because a lot of times, even when they're repeats, if I've seen them before, I've forgotten what happens. And it's not that I'm a believer in the paranormal or have experience with paranormal, but it's just the way when they do these reenactments, sometimes they're scarier than some horror movies that I've seen. That's why I really like them. I need a good scare every now and then, I suppose. I also, sometimes I will watch forensic, true crime type of shows. When it comes to those, I just flip on the ID channel. I don't necessarily pay attention to the title of the shows, so I don't know what they are. I can think of one. It's called Evil Lives Here. It actually sounds like it would be a paranormal show, but I know it's a forensic type of show. But there is one that was coming on the Weather Channel that was called Storm of Suspicion, and I found that one very interesting because that one was about, it was your typical forensic true crime show, but it related it to how weather played a part in forensics. You know, maybe by if there was a murder and the body was found in the snow or in a river, it would discuss how those elements played a part in solving the crime or not being able to solve the crime. So much for my lighthearted topic, I apologize. I also like on the Weather Channel, there are some TV shows that are about major weather events. Maybe it was a mega tsunami or a tornado or a hurricane and the destruction that it caused. I don't know why that seems to capture my interest. I mean, I know why I have an interest in that sort of thing, but it's not one of those things, like, I don't think it airs, say, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, say. I only just seem to catch it here and there. Maybe it does air. It probably does air at a certain time on a certain day, but because I don't really always get to sit down and watch TV, it just seems random to me. I also enjoy, let me move on to the shows that are currently airing live. Not live shows, but that are currently airing as new. Right now I'm watching a few dance shows. One is called Come Dance With Me, which is about a child who is a trained dancer who picks a relative. I think they have all been a mother or a father to dance with them in a competition against other teams. I missed the first few episodes, but once I started watching it, actually I think I might have only missed the first episode, but I really enjoy that show. I like seeing the way the dancers progress, and the children are pretty good. The parents, those are the ones who are progressing because they weren't dancers to begin with, but they learn as they go. I think that show is almost over. I think we're either in semifinals or finals when it airs this week. I also have started watching, what's that show called? So You Think You Can Dance. The season is finally picking up now. They're out of the audition stages. We have the top 12 picked, and so now they're competing. And there is a new show, a new dance show called Dancing with Myself or Dancing by Myself, which is, it's like a game show. And there's some judges. One, I believe, is Nick Jonas, and one is Shakira. I don't know the name of the other one, but it seems to be, you start out with, I want to say 12 contestants, 10 or 12, and they have to learn a dance, TikTok style dancing, and they dance in their own little pods, and the audience picks their favorite, and the top, I forget, is it 6 or 8, move on to the next round, and then it goes on from there. The one dance show, I'm not sure if there's even going to be more episodes, more seasons, but a popular one is Dancing with the Stars. I actually don't watch that show. I think I watched the first season, maybe the first 2 seasons, but that was a long time ago, and since then I haven't watched it. I've also been watching a few game shows, primetime game shows. One is called Beat Shazam. I really like that show. And game shows aren't even really my thing, but maybe because it has music incorporated into it. If you've ever seen the show, or if you haven't seen the show, it's a competition where little snippets of songs are played and you have to compete against other contestants to guess the correct song that's playing in the fastest amount of time, and whoever does that wins points. Until eventually, when it comes down to the final team, you have to beat Shazam. You have to be able to name the song before the time is up, which I want to say is like 4 seconds, which they say is how long it takes for Shazam to guess the name of a song. So that's why it's called Beat Shazam. I also got into, this might be over for the season, but I got into Name That Tune. I'm horrible at that game show when I try to play along, but I like it. The one game show that I tried watching that I cannot get into is Don't Forget the Lyrics. I think that's what it's called, where the host they'll play a song, the music will stop and the contestant has to keep singing, and they have to be able to give the correct lyrics. And the problem I have with that show is the way it is dragged out. I mean, they will play one snippet of song and the contestant will guess, and then they will go to a commercial. And that happens every time. There's so many commercials. And usually I'm recording everything on the DVR that I'm watching anyway. But when you have to fast forward that much, it's annoying. I get mad. I'm like, why? I can't handle it. So I don't really watch it, but I gave it a shot. Another show that, see, it's summer now, so a lot of the shows, any of the shows that I would watch, which are only a few, they're on hiatus right now. But I know they did renew the two shows that I like, which are 911 and 911 Lone Star. I love those shows, and that is, a fictional show based around first responders, whether they all know each other, the characters, I mean, on the show. They're all part of the same department, basically, the firefighters, and I want to say they're EMTs, but, the people on the ambulance squad. And then, there's usually one or two police officers in the mix too. And the show, it follows the story of their lives, but that's like the subplot. The main plot is the calls that they respond to. There's usually one big, like per episode, there's one major event that happens. Some kind of event where somebody needs to be rescued, but there'll also be one or two other smaller events. Usually there's something that happens, say a car accident, to get the show started, get the characters, on the fire truck, on the ambulance, responding to the scene. And that won't really have much to do with the rest of the show. But anyhow, 911 takes place in LA, and 911 Lone Star, I believe, is Austin, Texas. It's definitely Texas. I want to say it's Austin. I know it's not Dallas. It's not Houston. So, did I mention America's Got Talent? I'm watching that right now. I haven't watched that in years, or any type of show like that. So, I'm watching that this year. I'm also watching I started watching, out of nowhere this year, I started watching Chicago Fire and Chicago Med. They're done, but I kind of just came into the middle of it. Oh, I forgot to mention one show that I love. It's a Criminal Minds. Obviously not a comedy, and it's in reruns. But I love that show, and not just because of Shamar Moore. But he doesn't hurt the fact that I love that show. And there is a show that I am waiting for season 2 to air. I hope it's soon. It is Cruel Summer. I watched the first season, and it's probably meant to be like for a younger audience, but because it has flashbacks to the 90s, I mean, that was my time. So the show was good in my opinion, and I haven't heard a release date yet for season 2, but it should be soon. I think it's meant to air in the summertime. And doesn't even sound like season 2 is going to be based on the same characters, so I don't know how it's going to play out, but I'm excited for it. And that one I know also airs on, oh shoot, is it? I think it's Hulu. I know it's on a streaming service as well. So that pretty much wraps up all of the TV shows that I am currently watching or that I watch when I catch it on TV. I am going to wrap up this video for the same reason I always wrap up my videos. There's so much noise in the background now. But I thank you guys for bearing with me. Those of you that have been following along,